Hello and welcome back to Wario Winter, the advent calendar where I'm walking through every single Wario game. Today, we're on our last entry into the classic Game Boy with Wario Land 3. It's been really interesting to see this series find its own identity with each new entry. From the fairly basic first game to the much more detailed and weird second game, this game feels like the perfect balance of these two concepts. It has the basic control setup and physics of the first game, while leaning super heavily into the more detailed and weird aspects of the second game. This time, with the inclusion of color! This is the weirdest adventure yet, taking place in a magical music box Wario finds after crashing his airplane. Not to mention, all of your adventures are in service of a mysterious god that promises you things that he may or may not be able to fulfill. Funnily enough, I noticed pretty quickly that the heavy physics from the first game were back. However, they were a little tweaked to be somewhere between the first and second game. This was the right choice in my eyes, as this felt like the perfect happy medium and led to a very good feeling control scheme overall. The other biggest thing I noticed was gone was the ability to pick up and throw enemies. Maybe I just didn't hit the right combination of buttons, but from my experience I couldn't figure out how to do it, even though it was automatic in the previous games. The newest innovation in this game is the more open-ended level schemes. It's no longer just point A to point B, instead you explore around the different levels to find different sets of keys and chests to find new treasure, in almost more of a 3D Mario structure, where every time you get a new chest, you're exited out of the level and need to go back to find more. But there's also another factor to consider. This game has a day-night cycle. In a surprisingly complex system for the Game Boy Color, each level is completely different whether you visit in the day or nighttime. Beyond that, certain keys and chests are only accessible within the day or night. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the structure. There's nothing wrong with it, and I can understand why people would like it, but I'm a lot more of a fan of the point A to point B structure. I can't even really explain why, other than maybe that I prefer a more straightforward nature over the more trial and error of a system like this. Besides the new level layout, I do really like the aesthetics and details within the levels themselves. Like sure, we're somewhat back to the standard forest, water, and desert, but what they do within those themes shows a lot of effort. I particularly liked moments like in the desert world when the sand hands try and grab you and pull you back down into the quicksand while platforming. There's something really cool about the ideas here, and finally having all of the colors to express it really exemplifies these. The whole game is so pretty, and even with the more basic color scheme that they are given, they really make the most of it. Music-wise too, there's some really good tracks here. There's almost always true for Mario series games, but Wario has had the extra layer on top of it of the more experimental ideas. This is probably my least favorite Wario Land game so far. It's not bad on a base level, it's extremely well made. It's just not my preferred style of game, which there's nothing wrong with. Have you played Wario Land 3? Let me know in the comments below and don't forget to subscribe while you're down there. Thanks for watching and I'll see you tomorrow.